Everybody, Josh Nims 2000 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Rogue One. A Star Wars story, Rogue One. Well, the trailer dropped a little while ago. Actually, this video is kind of late. Sorry about that. I've got personal reasons that I don't want to go into as to why it's late. If you know me personally, you'll probably know why. Because no doubt I'll probably have had a rant at you about it at some point. So, I haven't been particularly very happy at the minute, haven't really been in the mood to do videos and what have you, because of what's been going on personally. So anyway, that to one side. Let's talk about one specific thing in this trailer. Come on, work with me. There we are. Who's this guy in the Rogue One trailer? Right, I have a couple of theories for this. Theory 1. This is Sidious stood here, and it is Plagueis sat in that. No, not Plagueis. Oh my god, Plagueis! EU, get out of here! It's Snoke in the back to tank. This is something that I've heard from another YouTuber that is plausible, and to be honest, I think it's the more likely option than my theory. But I so want my theory to happen. Still believing in it. Not going to stop believing in it until I've seen the film. Probably going to sound really stupid when you hear it, but hey ho. Some people probably may like it. But we shall see. Anyway, so who's this guy? What does he do? We're going to play a game of who is this guy and what does he do? Okay. Right then. That theory's Snoke. My theory is this is either Sidious. This is either Sidious or another character, or with roles being reversed. Theory 1, which now that I think about it is probably quite unlikely. It's Starkiller in stood here, and it's somebody like it's either a hologram or somebody else in the back to tank, with him kneeling before the said individual, which is probably quite unlikely. And so if it's a hologram projector, it's probably possible he could be kneeling. But then again, why would there be royal guards? Why would there be these fellas? Yeah, precisely. There wouldn't be royal guards if it was Starkiller. Like, you know, why is there royal guards? Or maybe the Emperor doesn't trust him. But my most likely theory is Starkiller's in the back to tank after sustaining some pretty heavy injuries. And if anyone has played the end of Force Unleashed games, both endings he takes some pretty heavy injuries. Dark Side ending resulted in him becoming a cyborg. Jedi ending resulted in him sacrificing himself for the rebellion. Yada yada yada. But what if Sidious has him in this back to tank before he is surgically operated on to become a cyborg? Because I mean, like, as for the kneeling, you know, maybe it's an insult, because Sidious doesn't even acknowledge in one of the endings, you know, you could have been my successor, my equal, but you've thrown that all away. So it's like, you know, he does acknowledge in one of the endings, you know, you are perhaps more powerful than I am, to Starkiller. So, like, you know, it's the kneel could be a bit of an insult. It's like, huh. Yeah, you're more powerful than me, but you're the one in the back to tank, and I'm the one ruling the Empire, kind of thing. That could be it. Second reason to this is because, oh, whoops, a certain friend here isn't this actor. Funny thing is, we don't see him in the trailer. We don't see him in the trailer we have anyway at first, the first trailer. The first release, the first announcement trailer, we do not have this actor who is going to be in Rogue One in it. And I haven't got a picture of it, but he did sign Galen underneath his signature for a fan who asked for his autograph to do with Rogue One. So that's my other second reason for why. I mean, just look at that. Look at this face. I could totally buy that as Starkiller. Like, even with just the bruises and grazes, I could totally buy that. I would buy that. I could buy that as Starkiller. Like, maybe a bit of an older one because it's getting up towards the events of Episode 4. I could totally buy that. Second theory is, as I already said, back to tank. He's not human. This is before the operation, before he becomes a cyborg, which you see here. Which is actually, I think this is cooler than Vader. Little secret, he kind of is. Like, you know, he's got his old human saber, coders. He's got Darth Vader's on there somewhere, but in the Force Unleashed DLC he kills Vader. So yeah. One theory is he ends up a cyborg given surgery, and this also links into the second part of the theory, which is that we could see him in a minor role in future films, which, you know, I dig. Now, you might be asking, why is he in a back to tank? Because Vader didn't need a back to tank to breathe before the surgery, and that's because that's what he looks like underneath the armor. Top part of his armor taken off, that's what he looks like. Just let that sink in. So yeah, that's kind of my one reason why he's probably going to end up playing the cyborg version of Starkiller, if Starkiller is in it. And also just, that's way more badass than the human versions. See, comparison. Badass, failure, midway. I have no love at all for the clone version of Starkiller. He can go die. Like, literally, can this guy, like, if we get another Force Unleashed game, can we please have this guy kill this guy? Please? That's all I'm asking for. Like, if that's the only level of the game, that's all I'm asking for. Oh. Now, the reason why I say it could be later on in the film is because, well, as you can see here, if you remember from episode 5, Luke and Yoda, Yoda trains Luke, kind of like the, as you can see by the rather crude editing of that picture. I was kind of thinking along the lines, you know, if Starkiller survived the fall of the Empire, I don't think he'd continue fighting. Well, if the Empire fell, everything he believed in fell, he'd be like, well, there's no reason for me to carry on fighting. I'm gonna go. Like, I have no reason to be here anymore. This, other than the Empire, that's the only thing holding him to the Sith. Like, you know, just the Empire. It's like a pair of handcuffs chaining him to the Sith. Just the Empire, like, they're chaining him. Like, take the Empire out of the equation, boom, nothing holding him there. And also, Kylo Ren's kind of weak, and I'm also of the impression, I personally don't feel Snoke is a Sith. Okay, he's taken some heavy injuries, but I don't think he's a Darth Plagueis or some kind of Sith. I don't think he's a dark side user. Okay, I think he's a Force user, but I don't think he's necessarily a dark side user. So, I think Snoke would probably be able to seek Starkiller out and be like, hey, Kylo, you know how you want to be this really cool Sith who's way better than Vader? I know this guy who can teach you. Just go to so-and-so planet. He'll be right there waiting for you. I promise. And, like, you know, he kind of shows up, and, like, you know, Starkiller's like a cape, like, you know, like just hiding all his cybernetics, and he kind of like talks, like he kind of teaches Kylo, drops wisdom like a boss, and then that's pretty much it. That's his role for the film. To be honest, if he's an older Starkiller, like an older cyborg version, I wouldn't want him to do anything beyond that. Also, especially given the fact how powerful Starkiller is, I don't think it would work with him being one of the main villains of the film. So, it would be nice to see him in something, but I want to see him in more of a Yoda Episode 5 6 role. Like, you know, just teaching Kylo and the other Knights of Ren, dropping wisdom like a boss, not particularly fighting. Okay, maybe one scene where we see him draw his saber, like, you know, just a practice spar match with them, like, you know, just teaching them some saber tactics, like, you know, nothing particularly fancy, because I think as he gets older, he's probably gonna have less energy, and it's just, you know, that's just how I think things should go. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Now this theory's kind of harebrained. Maybe I'm just clutching at straws to see my favourite character again. But you know, to be honest, I do think the whole Snoke being in the Bacta tank thing would make more sense, because they need a way to link episode 4 to 6 to 7 in the new trilogy. But I just think Starkiller playing like a Yoda role, like even just having Snoke in the Bacta tank here, and then like having the whole Starkiller Yoda thing, or dark side equivalent of Yoda kind of thing. I think that would be really cool. Like, you know, but you know, I just think it would be extremely interesting, and it be kind of a cool new dynamic for the character, because like Starkiller is pretty much always displayed as a warrior, a fighter. He's never really been shown as a mentor before. It's always something I've wanted to see them explore with the character, but it's never really been explored. He's always been more of like a Darth Vader warrior, apprentice type character. Like, you know, which shows I'm fine with if they wanted to bring him into Rogue One as just a pure bad guy, villain, antagonist alongside Vader. You know, I'd love that. Personally, I'd love that more than this theory. But you know, to be honest, I think it'd be too OP for, especially for Rogue One. Jesus Christ, no Jedi in Rogue One. He'd be way too OP. Then again, we're looking at battlefield scale battles. So if you wanted to have that kind of, the lightsaber as a weapon of fear, all infantry units run from the man holding it, Starkiller would be a perfect character for that, because like he's so powerful with the Force. Like, you know, he can just bam, he can snap loads of rebels' necks without even moving his hand. Like, okay, I'm probably over exaggerating, but you know, he's pretty powerful. Like, you know, he pulled a Star Destroyer out of the sky. You don't believe me? I will even pull up a clip. He pulled a Star Destroyer out of the sky. Man, this guy's powerful. Like, you know, I don't want him to be. That's kind of why I want him to be a mentor and not really fight. Because I think it would dampen the story of. And also, I don't want an explanation to why he's there. Okay, if they were gonna do that, do a solo movie, call it like Empire Falls, a Star Wars story, and show what he was doing in the 30 years between 6 and 7. Like, you know, the fall of the Empire, kind of have it like he's like the last Sith of the Empire, and he's trying to hold it all together, but it just crumbles in his hands. Like, you know, and he gives up and he goes into hiding, like, you know, maybe Spawn-esque, hiding in a back alley on some planet somewhere, along with the rest of the rejects of this planet. And you know, he gets pulled up by Snoke to train Kylo. You know, maybe I'd prefer that, and maybe in the Empire Falls film or something like the standalone with him in, we could see him kick some ass and like be the really cool Sith Lord he normally is. And to us, I never really got how he just suddenly mentally flicked and changed like a light bulb when he's been indoctrinated to be a Sith his entire life. I don't get that. Just some people class him as a grey Jedi. I wouldn't even class him as that. He's just a Sith with a moral compass. That's it. He's not a dark Jedi, no grey Jedi, not any kind of Jedi at all. He has no Jedi beliefs whatsoever. So to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't count him as such. And I don't get why some people do, because it's kind of pointless, because he's not a Jedi in any way or shape or form. So this man playing underneath the suit, or like, you know, a human version, that would definitely go. Or he could be the body of Vader. That might be why we haven't seen him in the trailer. Body of Vader. Oh, excuse me. Excuse my manners. Like, you know, that could work, because they were saying they wanted Vader to be more brutal and violent. So, like, you know, this could be the kind of imagery they're going for with a man underneath the mask. And also, you know, to be Darth Vader, you don't really need to have the voice, because the voice, or something that could be turned into the voice, because the voice is done afterwards, pre-production. The actor will say the lines, but then it'll be changed. like it was in the original trilogy. They've changed it in post production, so it's not really a problem what you sound like or if you have an accent to play Vader. And Starkiller, I don't particularly think it would matter either if it was a cyborg version, because his mask, you never see his lips move. So he could be the body, and like they could get the guy in from Force Unleashed. Sam Witwer was that it? I think it's Sam Witwer. They could get Sam Witwer in to do the voice. To be perfectly honest, I'd want a more gruff, kind of human voice. If he was playing an old mentor, I wouldn't want him to have like a really steely, evil, cybernetic voice as a mentor. Maybe like for the solo film, if we do ever get one. Like, you know, this is all speculation, hypothetical. This is not official. Don't take this video as, oh, Starkiller's in Rogue One, I'm gonna watch it. Starkiller's gonna be in episode 8 or 9, I'm gonna watch it. This is all hypothetical, this is all my speculation of what I would want to happen, what I think should happen. This is a cool character, why you take him out of the EU, Disney, goddammit. I said, why you take Captain Fordo and half the other Legends character out too, huh? What has the Legends canon ever done to you? I'm sorry, there's so many really cool characters in Legends. I mean, even Coda. Mom Coda in the Force Unleashed, he was kind of cool. Like, you know, the blind guy who could still fight with a lightsaber and drop in wisdom like a boss, you know. I think Kanan in Rebels is kind of becoming that now, but, you know. I don't like this thing where they're bringing characters back under new names and basically having them carbon copies of other characters. If they did that with Starkiller in Rebels, I'd be very disappointed. I'd actually want to... Starkiller, I think, would be somebody more fitting to a live-action film. Because I'm just thinking he could... The suit design... Hang on, just let me find the suit. Yeah, the suit itself is just extremely intimidating. Like, hell, if he gets messed up and we have him looking like that at some point, that would be extremely terrifying. Probably give a lot of the kids in the film nightmares, but whatever. And I mean, like, you know, if you get proper good special effects in there to do that, that could look horrifying. To be honest, like, he was crushed by a ship, or, you know, they could have it something else. Maybe he was fighting Vader and Sidious and he got messed up. To be honest, I think that would probably make more sense, fighting Vader and Sidious and getting absolutely messed up at the end of Force Unleashed. I think that would have made a bit more sense. Like, you know, let's get one thing straight. Starkiller has a ridiculous pain barrier. Like, he had a table thrown into him, and like a couple of hours later, he was there fighting Vader, and he actually won. Like, you know, he had a full-on stone table hurled at his chest and cracked several ribs, but he was still fighting later. It's like, you know, he has so many superhuman feats under his belt. He could be a really interesting and cool villain. Or maybe he starts off as a villain in Rogue One and becomes a hero at the end, like in the original Force Unleashed. Or maybe in Rebels, but like, you know. Personally, I don't want him to be in Rebels, because I feel like Rebels, they're too scared to show the saber combat. It's just, but that's a subject for a separate video. Not here, not now, talking about someone else. And so having a cameo in Rebels would kind of be a good way to soften up the audience to him. Like, oh, this guy's canon now. Let me guess, I'm expecting to see him in Rogue One, right? Because they have said there's no Jedi in Rogue One, but there's going to be Sith. And things everybody forgets is Starkiller is a Sith. He was originally a Sith. So it doesn't mean he's necessarily a Jedi. And hands up who wants to see Vader and Starkiller fight on the big screen. Hands up. If your hands is not up, I'm guessing you've never played The Force Unleashed. Because my hands are literally up right now. Look, both hands up. My feet up. Just... Anyway, guys. This would be kind of a bad rant that I decided to do. No, not really a rant, just a mad discussion on... Literally, I saw this whole footage and I just thought, you know, that would be cool if it was Starkiller. Like, you know, I'm just... Meh. It probably won't happen. He's a really dark character. I think Disney would be kind of too scared to have him in it. I mean, but Episode 8, a cameo having like a Yoda-starred Starkiller, that would be so cool. just there like teaching Kylo and dropping wisdom like a boss. Hell, maybe even if he's an old Jedi, like an old Jedi, like who was part of Luke's academy, like kind of like how Carl was in the expanded universe, like just being there teaching. Because I can easily think Starkiller would be a great way to teach Jedi who kind of some of the Jedi philosophies don't sit well with them. So kind of like they could be like, okay, like, and you don't like my way, he can teach you to be more like a grey Jedi, more like what you believe is right, Because many grey Jedi work off their own principles, they have their own codes and things, like, well, that's why I kind of deem Stockholm more as a Sith, because he runs more off the Sith code, like, I'm not going to recite the Sith code for you now. Of course I know it, because I'm a Sith fan, I prefer Sith over Jedi any day, but I'm not going to recite the Sith code for you now. Google it. Anyway, I'm done.